If you want to do a lot of painting in Affinity Designer, especially raster brushwork, you can manage your brushes in lots of different ways. For instance, you can import entire brush sets, you can create brushes from scratch, you can modify existing brushes, and as well as that you can create them and categorize them and then export them for other users or colleagues. So the first thing that's worth remembering is that raster brushes exist purely in the pixel persona and vector brushes exist in designer persona. So because this video is about raster brushes and managing, we'll jump over to pixel persona. Just enable that now. The raster brushes are stored and managed exclusively in the brushes panel. So I'll just come across and show you the brushes panel here. So we're looking at this basic category, and clearly any individual category has a whole series of brushes in there for you to select. That's the same for all the other categories available from this drop-down list. But firstly, I want to just import some brushes that I've got stored as a separate brushes file. And I'll do that by going to this button at the top right-hand corner. I'll click it and I'll choose Import Brushes. And I'll select my AF brushes file, and it's called My Raster Brushes. I'll just select that and click Open. And it's telling me that I've imported 4 raster brushes into a new category called My Raster Brushes, and that's stored within the AF brushes file, that category name. So these brushes are now ready to be used for painting. But if I wanted to create a brush from scratch, what I can do is I can create a category and then create a new brush within that category, and we'll do that now. So do create new category and rename this category Extra Raster Brushes. From there I'll be able to go back to this panel preferences option, click on it and choose New Round Brush. And once that's created a brush entry there in the panel, I can double click it and I can choose the size and different brush properties to my liking, including the dynamics for pressure sensitivity, etc. And if I click close, that brush is now ready to be used. Now that's creating a brush from scratch, but what I can also do is to modify a pre-supplied brush in a different category and duplicate it and save that for future use. So we'll try that now. So from a different category, we'll go to, in this case, gouache, and we'll select this particular brush, double click it. And from this brush editing dialog, you'll be able to create the brush settings that you want. But crucially, the important thing to do here is to make a duplicate of this particular brush, because you don't want to change its default settings. So I'll just do that now. I want to duplicate there. And you see the brush has been duplicated and added as a copy to the bottom of the list of brushes. And that gives me the freedom now to change the settings of the brush without affecting your presets that you've got stored. Okay, I'll just go with something like that. I'll just click close. Now I can right click on there, I can rename the brush. I'll just call that My Gouache 1. Click OK. And I might be quite happy to just keep that brush just at the bottom of this category, but if these categories change in updates of Affinity software, you might find that this particular brush gets overwritten or lost, and you don't want to do that. So what I'd advise to do is to right click on it and say Move Brush to Category, the custom category you created, which was Extra Raster Brushes. Let's just jump to Extra Raster Brushes, and you see the new brushes have been moved into this category along with the new brush that we created previously, that round brush. And for safe storage, if you want to save this brush set or share it with your colleagues or other users, you'll be able to use the panel preferences to do export brushes, and we're going to save it as a file name extra raster brushes.af brushes. And just go into the dialog again just to show you that the file has been created, and there it is there.